The drama surrounding Gilbert Arenas' explosive commentary on Michael Jordan, Allen Iverson, and Kobe Bryant was not just another sports hot take drifting across social media. It was a moment, live and unfiltered, that peeled back the layers of basketball mythology and forced the audience to confront a question they've been dodging for decades. What truly separates greatness from immortality? In Arenas' words, there was no hesitation, no softening of edges. He detonated the conversation, arguing with conviction that Jordan and Iverson, as iconic as they were, never wanted the smoke that Kobe Bryant lived and breathed every single day of his career. What followed was less a debate than a eulogy for myths we've all grown comfortable believing. Gilbert's intensity came from a place that wasn't casual punditry. He spoke about the way Kobe internalized failure, about how Bryant couldn't even process the idea of it. To him, admitting he was a failure wasn't just hard, it was worse than death. That refusal to yield, that psychological warfare against himself, became the bedrock of everything that followed. Jordan was the divine assassin, Iverson the fearless rebel, but Kobe was different. He was something that could not be replicated. Something born from agony, sharpened by rejection, and crystallized by obsession. Arenas painted Kobe not as a player, but as a warrior carved from fire and suffering, a man whose entire being was calibrated for destruction on the basketball court. The stories tumbled out with a kind of reverence that only raw truth carries. The bus ride where Kobe declared, "I'm better than Mike," wasn't arrogance, it was inevitability. Jordan's flu game, a single night that cemented itself as legend, became a yardstick for courage. Iverson's 2001 finals run, played through an encyclopedia of injuries, elevated him to cult hero status. But Kobe waged war with pain not for one game, not for one series, but for entire seasons. Torn ligaments in his shooting hand, dislocated, fingers popped back into place mid-game. Broken bones taped together as if tape itself could hold back the collapse. He didn't just play through agony, he made it his constant companion. Where others fought pain in fleeting moments, Kobe built his career inside it, as if it were oxygen. Gilbert's voice rose sharper when he spoke of Kobe's evolution. Jordan perfected one era, Iverson defined another. Kobe transcended them all. He absorbed the brutality of the hand-checking 90s, adapted to the cerebral defenses of the 2000s, and thrived in the pace and space evolution of the 2010s. He wasn't bound by a single philosophy of basketball. He mastered them all, bending the game itself to his will. That shape-shifting adaptability, Arenas argued, is what separated Kobe from even the greatest of greats. Jordan and Iverson could dominate the rules of their time, but Kobe understood every version of basketball and conquered it. And then there was the philosophy, Mamba mentality. Arenas didn't treat it like a slogan, he treated it like scripture. Too hot for most to handle, too consuming for most to live by. Kobe embodied a level of obsession that destroyed anyone who wasn't willing to sacrifice everything. Players who tried to mimic him often burned out, overwhelmed by the relentless demand for more. But for Kobe, this intensity wasn't an option. It was who he was. To wake at 4 a.m, to rehearse the same moves thousands of times, to play on knees that needed draining at halftime, to walk off with a torn Achilles after calmly sinking free throws. These weren't stories of inspiration. They were reminders that Kobe existed on a plane where pain wasn't deterrence, but destiny. Even in clutch moments, the narratives crumble under scrutiny. Jordan, Iverson, Kobe, the numbers say one thing, but the truth lies deeper. Kobe's 6 for 24 shooting in Game 7 of the 2010 finals became an easy punchline. But Arenas tore apart the facade, reminding the world that it was Kobe's 15 rebounds, his defense, his will, and his refusal to surrender that carried the Lakers that night. Where others saw inefficiency, Arenas saw the embodiment of resilience, the exact kind of resilience Jordan and Iverson never had to carry in quite the same way. And what of Kobe in today's NBA? Gilbert was relentless here too. If Harden could feast on free throws, if modern spacing allowed scorers to operate untouched, what would Kobe have averaged in his prime? Arenas didn't hesitate. 45 points per game at minimum, conservative even. He pointed to the 81-point masterpiece against Toronto, the 62 points in 3 quarters against Dallas, the 4 consecutive 50-point games when defenders were allowed to maul players. These weren't hypotheticals. They were evidence of a killer whose limits were self-imposed, not system-imposed. When Jordan retired, life went on. The league crowned new champions. The narrative evolved. When Iverson faded, his absence was felt, his culture remembered, but the game didn't stop. But when Kobe left this world in 2020, the planet itself paused. Candlelight vigils lit up cities that once booed him. Athletes in sports Kobe never played honored him in arenas he never entered. Presidents, prime ministers, even the Pope acknowledged his passing. Kobe wasn't just a player, he was an inevitability that transcended the very sport he mastered. Gilbert Arenas' explosion wasn't really about tearing down Jordan or Iverson. It wasn't about minimizing their greatness. It was about telling an uncomfortable truth the basketball world often refuses to admit. That Kobe Bryant, in his obsession, in his adaptation, in his unrelenting companionship with pain, represented something no other player has ever embodied. Jordan chased perfection. Iverson chased respect. Kobe chased pain itself and found greatness on the other side. That is why, as Arenas declared without hesitation, they never wanted smoke with Kobe, because he was fire, and fire doesn't negotiate. And now the question shifts to you. Was Gilbert right in placing Kobe beyond the reach of even legends like Jordan and Iverson? Did the Mamba mentality elevate him into an entirely different category of greatness? Or do numbers, nostalgia, and mythology still hold the crown for others? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this deep dive into Arenas' unapologetic truth-telling, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe for more storytelling breakdowns, and join the conversation, because the debate about basketball immortality has only just begun.